What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz. In today's video, we're going to talk about micromobility.com and whether or not they're going bankrupt, or is this a major bottom? Because for the first time in over 30 years of trading this market, half of it as a stockbroker, I saw a stock gap up 44% in the pre-market, only to drop over 50 to set another all-time low at 45 cents. All that and more coming right up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody's doing well. It's been, a week and a half since you've seen me. I've been busy as a bee because starting in June, for all you premium members, we've got some major plans. We're going to start a Discord for stock traders. We're going to have a Facebook group for those of you that own a small business or a side hustle. We are working diligently with Text Magic to come up with a tech service that is safe and secure. And yes, Moi is going to do 60-second YouTube short videos for over 100 of you that qualify. So I have more to say on that later. Today, I want to start off with a mea culpa. And as I said about 2 hours ago on Twitter, follow me at Try Small Biz. I failed. If you've been following me for any length of time over the last few years, I have no problem falling on the sword. And I got to tell you, in part 1 of 2, and tomorrow is going to be about Mullins, where we talk about David, who's been running the show there for 9 years and failed to deliver a single vehicle, let alone a check and or a profit for the company. But today, it's all about Salvatore, the man who was at the helm of Hellbiz, now known as MCOM, for the last 8 years, and has not only failed to deliver a profit, but is arguably knocking on heaven's door. But to start off with, I made a mistake. Not because I'm up to my here with many of you in both of those stocks, but I underestimated the lack of character. I underestimated what I consider to be one of the most tone-deaf, sarcastic, and by the way, if you haven't seen, he calls me Small D now. Ladies, plug your ears. 1, 2, 3, that's Small Dick. He calls me Small D now. It was fake news, but now it's Small D. So instead of spending the next 15 minutes tearing him apart, I would like to say that I made a mistake. I went way too heavy. I misjudged the situation here. That is my fault. I am a grown-ass man along with 80% of my audience. 20% are the lovely ladies who are not only following along, but members at TrySmallBiz.com. But I had no idea. Believe me. When I woke up this morning and I saw it up 44%, trading as high as 73.5, I thought, all right, maybe we got a chance. Earnings were not that bad. Revenue was up 18% year over year. Yeah, their cash burn is way too high. Their liabilities are twice as much as their assets. And according to their accountant, they've got 6 months to a year at present course, or they're going to be filing Chapter 11. Now, I don't think for the record that that's going to be necessary. And I'm going to surprise some of you in the second half of this video because I'm going to talk to Sal, who I've repeatedly said is the worst fucking CEO in the history of NASDAQ. He has wiped out 99.9% of shareholder value. Split adjusted, it's currently worth a penny. Last trade 47 cents from when it went public 2.5 years ago as a SPAC at $10 a share under the ticker of HLBZ. But again, in case you didn't hear me, I screwed up. It's not that I've never taken a loss or seen a hellacious drawdown. And by the way, speaking of drawdown, if it wasn't for these two fucking stocks that I'm going to spend today and either tomorrow or Thursday talking about, we've been on fire. 3 successful trades in TRKA for 54%. We took a 54% drawdown in MMAT at 18 cents. I got out at 26 and change. It did go to 28.5. Last trade 257. So a minus 54 turned into a minus 3. And I just booked, 20 minutes ago, a 31% profit in 2 days. And ATNF got out at 135, last trade 131. However, it went as high as 143. But based on the crickets on Twitter, it means that almost none of you took advantage of when I said to buy it at $1.03. And if you missed 103, it sat at 105 to 110 for an hour and a half 2 days ago. So if you add all that up, that's over 100% in gains and or losses recouped, but my fault, way too heavy, misjudged character, went in way over our skis in both of these stocks, MCOM and MULN, so I apologize for those of you that are currently going through hell, but I want to spend the rest of this video talking to Sal, if I could imagine myself doing so, as a trusted partner or someone on the board of directors. Sal, what the fuck are you doing? You're calling your shareholders small d, small dick, Italian from the waist up? No, switch that around. We don't edit around here, so if you're new, welcome. I'm Irish from the waist up, Italian from the waist down. But your shareholders see you talk to Jason, the guy who arguably brought in more people to your fucking stock, which again is down 99.9% than anybody else on this planet. So thousands of people see you antagonize, berate, and belittle, not me, set me aside as a member of the board, but thousands of other people that you've been going at it with in stock twits and on Twitter and damn near in who the hell knows what other forums that you're currently a member in. Don't you realize, based on what our accountants just told us, we are 6 months to a year away from going out of business? We have $1.2 million in cash in the bank, and after today's massive dilution, because you don't go from up 44 to down 10 unless you're once again just leaning on that offer and demoralizing shareholders. So Sal, as your trusted advisor, aka fellow member of the board, you must change your ways and you must do it fast. Otherwise, you're going to be in a bankruptcy court by this time next year. And as my experience has taught me over the last 30 years, 15 as a broker, there's a few things that you need to do right now. Number one, you need to end the relationship, if it's possible, with Yorkville. This toxic financing that you have brought us through is absolutely crushing the stock, the shareholders, the morale of the entire community, because who's going to want to buy when they keep seeing up 44 and down 11 any more stock? Because as they know from this relationship that you have with Yorkville, every 2 or 3 days, there is a 750,000 to 1 million share dilution. Why would anyone want to throw good money after bad when they know that you have destroyed every fucking rally since the reverse split at $5, let's call it, all the way down to 45 cents? You got to get out of that relationship. You need to get on the phone with Yorkville and say, look, we need to do this all at once. We need to do a $5, $6, $7 million dilution right here and right now in the, let's call it 45 cents to a half, and get this over with. And I've got to communicate with the street, maybe in your Twitter spaces next week, that we are done effective June the 1st with Yorkville. There is going to be no more toxic, dilutive financing. Instead, Sal, you need to get on the horn with the Jeffries of the world. They're helping Trika. They're a much bigger, and I would argue better company than you are, but them, as well as Maxim Group, Apollo, hell, even look at your shareholder list, BlackRock, anybody who's got deep institutional and or retail broker pockets. And you need to get on the horn, and you need to get your fucking act together, wear your best cheap suit like the one you wore on CNBC, and say, look, I'm a very passionate Italian guy. I come from Sicily. I don't have a gondola, although that video was hilarious, but I do have pride. And as you told me, Sal, a few months ago, you're, quote, hashtag self-made. Let's assume, for argument's sake, including thousands of people that are watching this video that have been decimated in the stock, that you are in fact capable of changing, because your baby's going down. You've been at the helm for 8 years. You have $1.2 million in cash. Your liabilities are 2x. Your accounts payable are 7x of what your current cash flow is. You're fucked. You're 6 to 12 months tops away from not only another reverse split and major humiliation, but Chapter 7 and or 11, take your pick. You must do a mea culpa. You must do a 180, and you must do it right now. So you get on the phone with all of the sell-side analysts, all of the institutions that specialize in small and micro cap companies, and you say, look, I had a relationship with Yorkville. I had to do what I had to do in order to sustain and finance this company up until now. But we've got 18% year-over-year revenue growth. We've cut our expenses, and we're about to do even more to the bone. We've got 2 back orders that we've already taken from members of the e-bike and scooter community that we need financing for. And based on our current cash rate, burn rate, cash reserves, et cetera, we need $15 to $20 million of financing all at once. And you do a $30 to $40 million share offering at 50 cents, nothing below market, nothing that's going to demoralize and piss off the shareholder base any more than they already are. So you end it with Yorkville, and then you get a major institution, preferably one that has an analyst that can put, I don't know, a $4 or $5 price target, something that's realistic over the next 12 to 24 months. And then you do an all-at-once offering, and then you go on a roadshow, just like you did 2 or 3 years ago, and you knock on every fucking door, and you get in front of every institution that's got deep pockets for a situation like yours, and you've got a kick-ass presentation that's, I don't know, 10 or 15 pages, no more than that long. And it specifically says, all right, if you give us $15 to $20 million, it is going to get us through the end of 2024. We're already in Soho in terms of our retail strategy with micro mobility, but these are the 5 or 6 or no more than 8, I would say, cities that we know there's opportunity that we want to be in by this time next year. This is the current cash burn rate of the company. This is what we're going to cut by the end of the 3rd quarter. And if you give us $15 to $20 million, 30 million shares at a half, we will not have to do any more dilutive financing for at least 18, if not 24 months. And once you get the financing lined up, and once you get the sell-side analysts to put out a decent recommendation, and once you go on the street and you see at least 10 or 15 institutions that can take down 2, 3, 4 million shares of stock, you then, in my opinion, you then go back to your shareholders who you have insanely disrespected over the last 2 years, and you say, okay, here's what we have. I, for starters, have been a royal a-hole, and I've disrespected you guys and gals for the better part of 2.5 years. And while I'm certain that I'm never going to be totally perfect because I am Sicilian, I promise to do a better job. But here's why I'm here today. We now have, as a result of this 30 or 40 million share offering, we have enough financing, enough cash to last us until the end of 2024. So you're not going to see me file like you have every 2 or 3 days, anything with Yorkville beyond the next 30 days. And here's exactly where we're going in terms of retail. Here's exactly how we're going to finance and where we're going to manufacture the bikes here in the United States. Maybe it's with a Mullen. Maybe it's with whoever Lime and or Birds uses. Here's who we have in terms of potential targets and or alliances and takeovers. We realize, Sal, that you can't give us the names, but you can say along the lines we've isolated in the micro-mobility space a scooter company, 2 wheelchair outfits, etc. Anything, skateboards, anything that applies to a green new world that we live in, and AKA micro-mobility. And if you add up the opportunities that we've already taken a look at and been in touch with, it's approximately 25 to as much as $50 million a year in terms of run rate. And if we're successful in aligning or acquiring half of those over the next 6 to 12 months, we are strongly committed to the possibility and or the reality of being profitable, and be realistic, by the middle of 2024. And if we are generating $50 million of annual revenue as opposed to 18 million. And we do have our expenses down to this level, and we have gotten rid of everything that's not making us money. And we are successful in Soho, in the 7 or 8 other retail outfits that we are. And we do roll up 2 or 3 micro mobility plays. Then yes, because we're no longer going to be in the business of dilution outside of the one and done situation that we're going to do in the next 30 days, I strongly believe, ladies and gentlemen, as CEO of a company that I'm extremely passionate about, but imperfect as a man, I strongly believe that we're going to be profitable and the stock is going to trade significantly higher than last trade, 46.5 cents. Ladies and gentlemen, Sal, until next time, always remember that I love you and I really appreciate you watching.